Following the announcement yesterday that CZ, the CEO and creator of Binance, was entering a guilty plea to charges involving money laundering, Binance ultimately agreed to pay a $4.3 billion fine. The news undoubtedly had a significant impact on the market. By now, you've all heard about the news, but it did have a slight impact. A bank run resulted in a small amount of outflows, totaling $1 billion. However, a sizable amount has since returned, which is positive. Nevertheless, this situation highlights the lack of trust customers have in Binance. As a result of this development, if that were the case, that is the reason I wish to discuss this. Something's existence, something gravely flawed about Binance's long-term viability exists. This has received a lot of attention and has the potential to drastically affect all cryptocurrency prices, including XRP, particularly on social media. I have observed a wide range of viewpoints regarding this. Since there are a lot of moving components in this, I'll just say what I want to share with you. Not that Binance is bankrupt, mind you. While I haven't seen any evidence to support the theory of Binance being bankrupt, if it were true, there could potentially be a significant capitulation event similar to what occurred during the financial collapse of FTX. Additionally, Binance's admission that a large number of their transactions were illegal comes into play. The admission by Binance that a significant number of their transactions were illegal will lead to the end of their business, resulting in a decline in profitability for them. It is not going to be profitable for them. We just do not know how to participate in specific transactions anymore. Although the initiative will have a significant influence on their lives and businesses, it won't be anything, even though it will be there's something we just don't know about. No one can access this information publicly. I'm not sure if those who work behind the scenes here at Binance were in a hurry, but we're also making an effort to look quite good going forward. I am here, but there are many others here. I intend to share my thoughts on this matter as it is causing me considerable distress. Additionally, I would like to provide a few points for consideration. However, before continuing, I do want to be clear, I have no financial experience of any type. I'm not giving financial advice, and you should never try and handle money matters on your own, because I'm just a regular guy saying and writing these things. An enthusiast who likes to create YouTube videos about subjects relating to cryptocurrencies, but only as a pastime, for enjoyment, and incidentally, as a kind reminder. I doubt that any of you overlooked this one. This situation has been ongoing for about a year. However, in December of last year, there was a significant incident of a bank run on Binance, and that one was really important. Binance experienced significant outflows, totaling around $8.7 billion in mid-December of last year, which were then offset by net inflows. This previous incident was meant to trigger a stress of $3.6 billion difference in just 7 days, testing whether or not they were in an FTX-type scenario. Well, in December, things would have kept falling off quickly. One drawback was that not everyone withdrew their money, regardless of how many did. Regardless of the number of withdrawals, the result stayed the same. That wasn't an issue up until then, since the funds were indeed available. Now, if it hadn't been present, as you could see, this is what it is. Recognize the motivations underlying the conversations. Regarding this and expressing worry right here, just there, I'm not sure. What's going on again? The reason for this is that, as you may know, there isn't enough transparency. Let me go over some of the details with you before I give you some more commentary on this, but this is the CoinDesk headline. After CZ departed, Binance processed over $1 billion more in net outflows. Binance, a cryptocurrency exchange, saw over $950. Over the last 24 hours, there have been $1 million in net outflows. Criminal activity plagued it for hours. The founder is facing accusations in the United States. CZ consented to resign as CEO. A record documents the role of the executive officer. However, following the CZ's recognition announcement, there are consistent hourly net Bitcoin and stablecoin outflows. Hulk Chan Chong, I'm sure, but the head of marketing at CryptoQuant told CoinDesk, and he was later quoted as stating that's not substantial at all compared to Binance's entire reserves at the moment. Binance intends to carry on with business as usual and complete its withdrawal. An analysis of net hourly flows from the on-chain data tool for CryptoQuant reveals that withdrawals from the US market are generally not significant every week, but they are fairly above average. All of this to say, even though there were outflows of $1 billion in a brief period, that's not insignificant. That's a vote of no confidence from those people, you know. You could argue that, to be honest, it's still a bank run. Well, there isn't a strict the definition of a bank run is not set in stone. Rather, it's simply this. Money flows out of the bank due to a lack of faith, which is the same idea as many individuals cooperating to achieve a shared goal. This also applies to cryptocurrency exchanges, of course. Recognize that not every bank run will be as severe as the others. Sometimes it goes well. In this instance, I'm not sure what the precise percentage of customers that withdrew money was, but it was sufficient to withdraw $1 billion last year, even if the total amount at the end of the year was more than $8 billion. Additionally, just because there is a bank run on an entity like an exchange here, it doesn't necessarily indicate that the entity goes out of business. You know, there are no defined boundaries on what constitutes a con. It's just more a concept. As long as there is solvency and sufficient funds, you can operate the bank without any issues. People are simply freaking out because they're unsure if they should be worried about it or not. That's exactly what you had here. However, let me clarify. Has voluntarily provided long-standing proof of reservations, especially following the collapse of FTX in November of last year. Why did I feel the need to discuss this? Why do I want to create this video, even though Binance won't? One of the big four accounting companies audited our company. You know, accounting businesses are like that because of their excessive obligations. On the books, or something else entirely. As you are aware, CZ was somewhat evasive when I brought up this subject with him during a live CNBC interview earlier this year. It was startling. Knowing who he was startling to me. Why had one of the four major accounting companies not performed an audit? He asserted that the four major accounting firms lack knowledge of cryptocurrency, including Binance, which is why an audit has not been performed. And for that reason, it hasn't taken place. They simply don't get that. They simply don't get the power of such money. The four major accounting companies are renowned for their depth of knowledge and wide range of services. Some claim to be geniuses and those who don't. They simply don't understand. Please don't. I'm unable to do it. But is that correct? Well, Joe Kernan is one of the hosts of this live show. I think this is him. Right away, he mentioned that Coinbase had undergone an audit by one of the big four, and CZ's expression conveyed his concern. I thought, oh no, this is not good. He simply lacks ideas for what to say. He's like, oh, how can you know? Spin a web to get out of this. After realizing that he avoided being discovered. What should I do in this situation? How should I proceed? What should I do? He never responded. He is simply so elusive, followed by a different host. I think her name is Becky Quick. She then inquired as to whether Binance has the funds to cover a fine from CZ. Because of legal issues, even though it was obvious at the time that something bad was about to happen, Becky Quick questioned him about his financial situation and inquired if he could afford to pay a $1 billion fine. When asked about the possibility of paying a $1 billion fine, he declined to respond, stating that he was in a sound financial situation. They claim to be in a sound financial situation. The response should have been in a place where you believe it ought to have been. Yes, we have the money to buy them, and they'll display them along with, refuse. They will display the proof of reserves, but we won't show you the entire set of books or our liabilities. Please simply believe us when we say that we are reliable. Just have faith in me, bro. Bro, right. So Becky Quick finally asked it's possible he saw him 3 times. Given the amount being thrown around, could you afford such a fine? Although we're in a solid financial situation, the answer to whether we can afford such a fine was no. Now that's telling, and Becky Quick became extremely irritated with him. At the time, I believed it was a little over $2 billion, and he simply would not answer it. Never have I seen her reply in this manner previously. It was the most try something else after the third severe and profound eye roll. She was merely rolling her eyes, and she simply gave up after that. Just to be clear, I don't think that Season is insolvent. I'm not saying that they're using customer funds responsibly. I'm not using customer funds for that purpose. This is all in conjunction with, obviously, some degree, at least, a reduction in business use claims. I don't have any evidence to support what I'm observing here, but it's a truth that the general public is unaware of. The true financial situation we are in is that we are aware of CZ's history of evasion and his plea deal for significant offenses, including a felony. If information is withheld from us, it will hurt our network. It's important to think about the potential effects of cryptocurrency runs, such as those involving Bitcoin and XRP, among others. In this world, the idea that matters to all of us is crucial. Cryptocurrency, the reason I wanted to discuss cryptocurrency is because I believe these are the elements that need to be taken into account. These elements need to be taken into account for this reason. In summary, in the end, ideally, it's simply a matter of none of us truly knowing what we are talking about. Nothing more than the fact that neither you nor any of us know what we are talking about. That's the main idea, which is why I wanted to draw attention to it. Some people are prepared to simply say, hey, let's give this a pass, because everything is available on well, maybe you're right, but how the heck do you have that? Am I expected to possess confidence, assurance, but I lack the same information as you? Why do you possess such confidence? I'm not sure whether you're getting ahead of yourself. This is strange, isn't it? That's it. This is what I'm saying. Hopefully, everything goes well, but these are just a few more things to consider. These are just a few more things to think about. That's about it, folks. Please share your thoughts with me. To be clear, I'm just questioning things because that's what a reasonable person would do. That being said, just because I thought something was weird doesn't mean that I believe anything is wrong. Simply put, don't you think it's strange that we don't know, and that they have been evasive and uncooperative, and this man entered a guilty plea to the fact that giving a fund to a felon may result in a criminal charge? Charge it, please. I do not provide financial advice.